Welcome back, everyone. In this video, our goal is to demonstrate how the noise tool can be utilized when working with our landscapes. Now, this tool excels at quickly creating some random hills and valleys in specific areas, and it can often serve as a great starting point when creating a landscape. So per usual, we need to be in our landscape mode. Make sure you've got these sculpt tabs selected, and over in our list of tools along the left-hand side, make sure that you have your noise tool selected. Now I'm just going to swing on over, holding down the right mouse button and pivoting my mouse to come over to a flat section of my landscape to best demonstrate this. Make sure that you've got your layer here selected as well with an alpha of 1. And I will increase my brush size here, and this tool is pretty simple to use. Simply left click to add a little noise to your landscape. And you can see here that I raised up the terrain in some areas and I lowered it in others. Let me just do Control+Z and set my tool strength all the way up to really see a strong effect. So left click, boom. Really raised it in some areas, really lowered it in others. It's all random. Now, the reason it's going both up in areas and down in others is because of my noise mode. It's currently set to both, which means it can raise or lower the terrain. If we set this to just add and we left click, it can only raise. Control-Z. If I do noise mode of sub, it will only lower the terrain. Now, Control-Z one more time. My brush fall off here really matters. If I set my brush fall off to 0, you can see I've got no fall off whatsoever, and I left click, I've got a very harsh line. Whereas, Control+Z one more time, if I set my brush fall off to 1, and this time I will add and left click, it's a lot more gentle going from the outer ring of my brush to the middle. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Now, this noise scale is going to determine how much jitter there is when you click in your landscape. Let me set my tool strength back to its default value. I'm going to set mode to both. Let's go in extreme to noise scale 1.1. And if I left click, you can see I've got a lot of jitter, a lot of undulations, whereas Control+Z, if I set my noise scale all the way up to its max value of 256, you can see it barely did anything at all. There it is, little more roundedness to a single indentation there. Now, you can hold down, let me just set this back to its default value. You can hold down the left mouse button and simply go around your landscape like such to create some random noise. If you do that, I suggest you set your tool strength down to something like 0.5 so that it's not too drastic. You get an effect like that. You can use this on an existing bit of sculpting to add some variation. For example, I've got this flattened area of my mountain range and it doesn't look super natural. So what I could do is maybe set this to 0.1. I'm gonna make my brush size much smaller, and then I could just left click, let me Control-Z that. I am gonna set my tool strength up a little bit higher. Left click and kind of rub around to add a little bit of variation. Another quick and simple use of the noise tool is to just add some random undulations all around your landscape just to get you started. And the way you can do this is to increase your brush size beyond its max capacity. If you set it to a hard value of 70,000 by clicking in there and entering 70,000, then press enter, you can see how you've got this ginormous brush that pretty much takes up your entire landscape here. And then if you set your tool strength to something like, I don't know, 0.15, and then click right about the middle of your landscape here, give it a moment to calculate, you could have some random undulations all around, just to kind of give you a start, and you could sculpt from there. All right, let me just Control-Z to undo that quickly. So that is some quick, simple uses of the noise tool. That'll do it all for this one, guys. We'll see you in the next one.